Some Doran speculation. What a great way to start out the morning. So, we did talk a little bit about the fact that, are we going to see the infinite dragonflight? Maybe at the end of 10.1, maybe a lead into some infinite dragonflight stuff. I think we are. I think the infinite dragonflight is going to make appearance soon. Before the end of the expansion, most definitely, we will see this. And Doran thinks he's figured out when and where we might see these boys. New 6 dragon aspect, he calls it. Let's see.
So we have just determined some brand new info about the Dractyr getting a new spec, more than likely getting electrical abilities very similar to Storm Dragons. There is a sword that drops in Abydos that has all the Dragonflight colors, but it also has the 6th one that is purple. There is a mural of all the aspects with a violet, mysterious one standing next to the ones we know.
What?
As we know, Razdaget was purple, she was close to the dragon aspects, she was personally impressed by Neltharion, and we know Neltharion was all about the experiments and very sinister experiments at that. So could we really be getting a 6th dragonflight soon, and who could this 6th dragon aspect be? Is it possible that Razdaget was a dragon aspect that rebelled and her storm dragons were exiled, or could this 6th one be related to Deathwing, his void activities, or even Tyr and that silver dragonflight?
Silver dragonflight. Whoa, okay, yeah, we're gonna get our rich wallet talk right now. So maybe this isn't an infinite dragonflight video. This guy's really speculating deep here.
It's been a while that Rich is sponsoring this
Leave it up to Dora to take the lore off the edge.
And, well, it's been nearly 3 years that I've been using it, and it's really great. You can put cash, you can put up to 12 cards, there's so many designs you can choose from. It's
Rich
just amazing.
wallet.
Recently, they also sent me the key cases, which matches with the wallet perfectly. Now, if you use my code Doran, you can get a great discount, so make sure to check out my link in the description and get the Rich wallet and the key case. So, we may be onto something here that is going to be a significant plot twist in Dragonflight that Blizzard has been pretty cleverly hiding. There is already a bunch of old info about the possible 6th violet purple dragon aspect. However, there is actually now brand new information that we have directly from 10.1. So this is literally news that is only a few days old, that was datamined directly from the 10.1 PTR. So do not waste your time. Let's get into some of the new stuff, and then we'll see how that kind of checks out with the old news as well. There is a drop from the 8th boss in Abydos, the 10.1 raid, called Ash Kandur.
This is your first time watching a Doran video. You really got to follow him, because this man goes down the rabbit hole like nobody you've ever seen. So let's pay attention here.
Sword. This sword is based on the Ashkandi that drops from Nefarian in Blackwing Lair.
Yes,
now,
we talked about the sword yesterday.
You may be thinking, I mean, wow, that's really not anything interesting. It's just a little nostalgia flavor stuff, but it actually is super interesting. This random 8th boss is Neltharion himself, as we will be facing off an Echo of Neltharion with a whole bunch of information that is going to set the ground for the future storyline. If you want the actual details, check out my previous video, as I covered the entire theory of the possibility of Neltharion returning and him actually being alive and what this avatar could actually be. However, the reason this is interesting isn't because it is Neltharion's sword, but because the sword itself has 6 different color variants. All these colors, except for the last one, are a part of the Dragonflights, and this makes total sense because Deathwing was all about constantly trying to combine the dragon aspect's powers and gather them, and on so many occasions he did this, from the Dractyr all the way to the Dragon Soul. So we have Ash Kandur in black, blue, bronze, green, red, and finally in violet color. Now, you may be thinking, well, that might just be a coincidence. It is, after all, just a variation in a recolor of a sword. I mean, who really cares? However, there is so much more other information about the possibility of a 6th dragonflight and a 6th dragon aspect that is hidden and is kinda all over the place. Now, I made a video on this ages ago when Dragonflight was
I've looked at this image 100 times, always thinking this is the black dragonflight, but it's purple. Interesting.
For the place. Now, I made a video on this ages ago when Dragonflight was
never
beta,
noticed.
and there was this Datamined mural where we had Caligos, Alexstrasza, Ysera, and this mysterious 4th violet dragon on this image. Keep in mind, throughout the years we've seen purple dragons all the time, but there was never a figure, like a purple dragon figure that would stand together with the other aspects. Most purple dragons have been related to the Twilight Dragonflight, and there have been some natural ones. There was actually a violet dragon in the Dawn of the Aspects, a small one at that. However, this guy seems to be painted together with the big eyes, which kinda just like shows his significance. Now, of course, when we're making a video that is old, there is actually a ton more information to back up this theory. First of all, if you observe the seat of the aspects in Dragonflight, you might notice that one aspect sits between one arch.
Well,
at least they used to when they were together. However, there are 6 arches, and as you may know, we only ever had 5 dragon aspects that we know of. Next down the line, there is the Mother Oathstone and the Evoker Crest that has this shape with crystals that has room for 6, but only 5 crystals are set up there, and these crystals are...
Oh, shit. See, wait, this is the black one. Right? I don't know if this is just like an art thing where like they keep deciding between black and purple and they can't figure out how to represent the black dragonflight or what. But this is like purple does seem to be coming up quite a bit.
All indicating the colors of the dragonflights. The way the 6th one is there.
See, here's a purple one too. Yeah, he's saying there's a 6th slot. There's another slot down here. I don't know how I feel about that, but purple right here is representing black again, I think. This is kind of confusing. What the hell? Either, like I said, either they're making weird color palette choices, or Dorn's right.
Seems like kinda it was removed from this entire design. Now next
this
on
dude
the
is
line, we
in,
can go back to Wrath of the Lich King, as we have a quote directly from Alistraza, where she talks about the Violet Proto Drake. I can't help but wonder if things would have turned out differently if the Titans had elevated even one more Dragonflight. I mean, of course, a lot of this old Wrath of the Lich King lore can hardly match the new one. I mean, it is pretty obvious Blizzard never planned this from the start, which is why we have the Vermeer's Temple, Dragonblight, and all this ancient dragon stuff in Northrend. Despite the fact that the dragons had, you know, well, the Dragon Isles and all the structures there and their entire civilization. However, the situation gets even more intense as we have most recently datamined a significant hint that you guys might have heard of, and that is the Draktyr Evokers getting a new spec. We still don't know what that is, at least at the time when I'm making this video. But
the new spec thing is essentially confirmed at this point. I mean, that we saw a quest with a little line filled in that says new Draktyr specialization. They're going to get a new spec. I thought it was going to be Black Dragonflight related because it is confirmed in the lore that those abilities had been erased from the Draktyr. So maybe they get them back, you know, when we're going back into Neltharion's lab and all that. That makes sense. But a purple Dragonflight abilities? Seems kind of out there.
A bunch of hints already. First, there is a document that all but confirms the introduction of a new Draktyr spec.
And
we have
purple.
All the stuff with the Draktyr journals, the experiments. However, all that is old info you can check out in my previous videos. Right now, we have some datamined spells and hints that strongly indicates that the new Evoker spec may get electrical spells, which really brings us to the theory who this 6th dragon
I'm thinking this new spec is going to be melee based. I don't know if it's going to be tanking. I thought it was going to be because that's what the Black Dragonflight abilities are based around, is tanking styles. But I definitely think at the least it's going to be a melee spec, whether it's going to be DPS or tanking.
May have been
TBD.
if we relate this to the Draktyr. A lot of things right now are pointing that the Storm Dragons may have been the 6th Dragonflight, and with that, it is entirely possible that Razaget may have been the 6th dragon aspect. This is, of course, one of the theories, but it definitely does make a lot of sense. This might be why Razaget had that kind of a big role at the start, that closeness with Alexstrasza, and with Alexstrasza talking about how they were clutch mates. Could it be possible that 6 dragon aspects were elevated together with Razaget, with being one of them, the Violet Storm Dragon? However, when she realized what the Titans were really doing, how they were really not the saviors that elevated them and were instead conquerors that used them as slaves, she wanted none of that, and she started a rebellion, returned to the elemental ways, and the entire big, massive dragon war started. This also might explain why Datamined had imprisoned her personally in Forbidden Reach. If you may remember, all the Incarnates were obviously in the Vault of the Incarnates, but Razaget was in the personal prison of Neltharion that he drew her into from a void portal. Datamined may have needed all the aspect powers to combine them in Aberrus for his ultimate creation, which is why his sword also has...
So he's saying the reason why Razaget wasn't in prison was because she was like one of the aspects, and he needed all the aspects powers to get to create what he was creating.
the 6th violet color. So it
I'm
isn't
not gonna lie, this is one of Doran's better theories that I've seen him put out lately. Pretty
entirely
good one.
possible that we might learn there is a lot more to Razagate than we had previously believed. However, this isn't the only theory. There are a lot of other possible explanations, a lot of other possible options. It is entirely possible that the Draktyr electrical spec has nothing to do with this, and that the 6th aspect may have been related to the spirit of decay, or, you know, spirit magic, or just decay magic that is so prominent right now with the expansion, and that
decay,
they may
that's
have
right.
had to
Holy
remove
crap.
for it. And that they
This man is digging deep. Damn. Water. I mean, I don't know if these align perfectly with the dragon aspects. I mean, we could see, like, we could say this is red, but see, the blue dragon aspects aren't really water. They're arcane. And then who would be air? The yellow? I mean, they're time. Earth makes sense for the black dragon aspects. Spirit would be green, I guess. If you want to push it, maybe you can push the dragon aspects into each one of these, and then purple would be decay. I don't know. That one might be a bit of a stretch.
magic or just decay magic that is so prominent right now with the expansion, and that they may have had to remove
Prismatic
for
flight?
some, I'd say, pretty obvious reason. As you may remember in the questline, Drelad, the brother of Alexstrasza and Ysera, was mentioned for a reason in the Titan Hall. We know he fell to Galakrond, but seeing that he's an actual brother to the aspects, he may have been intended to be the 6th dragon aspect, which could bring in a whole bunch of information about decay magic. It could return Galakrond, although honestly I doubt this option would really be the case. Or the more likely scenario is that the 6th dragon aspect may have been related to Void, or that it was some sort of a project on Altarian that he had concocted in his laboratory, because he made a lot of projects, although that wouldn't really explain the murals and why there would be 6 places atop the seat of the aspects. Another big hint we have as well is the storyline of Tyr. We know there's a big possibility he may be returning, and right now in 10.1, Blizzard confirmed that the entire questline will continue in this patch, which will bring some pretty big reveals. There is an entire talk about the possible existence of this weird silver dragonflight.
Albino dragonflight.
Really explain the purple
Well, wait
color,
a minute, look at that.
Did
you guys see this? Purple gems. Purple gems. That, well, you know, I was about to get excited, but then I remembered I'm pretty sure these saddle combinations that you can unlock, they change the color of the gem based on the saddle you picked, so maybe not. But the albino
silver dragonflight. This
albino dragonflight, silver dragonflight.
But maybe Altarian had twisted this aspect to turn him purple. We know Tyr was the one that granted the actual aspect powers that pretty much made all their infrastructure, so there is a high possibility that these 6 dragonflight dragons hint may be entirely related to him. It is obvious that this Tyr questline is going to be significant, so when we tie this in with the secrets of Natarian, we may actually be discovering brand new dragonflight that was completely just written out of history.
Interesting.
Thank you for watching. Check out us Natarian Alive and returning a dragonflight by clicking on the screen, and check out Donut's Academy for videos on real world history.
Crap.
See you next time.
This was actually a good one. This one was on point. I mean, the talks, the pictures, everything that he showed, yeah. Shit, Doran. You may be onto something this time. And it all started with this blade that we talked about. This is the cool blade with the special abilities that we talked about dropping from Deathwing. Interesting stuff from Doran. Definitely thought-provoking, I would say. Yeah, 6 Dragonflight, the Purple Boys. Who knows?